Hello guys, welcome to my agro laboratory. Remember about 8 months ago we started a project, and that project was to look at alternatives to soy in growing yams. Now we all know that soy is the gold standard, but we decided to try other things like biochar, rice husk, sawdust, and we did a comparison with soy. Today we are going to be looking at the outcome. That is what this video is all about. But before we go to the main video, let me just remind you of what we did the last time. Just look at this short video. All right. Remember this place? It used to be very, very green, but of course, complete senescence has taken place, so everything is dry now. Now we're going to be concentrating on these 2 bags. Now, if you have looked at the short video, you realize that this was a bag where we did 4 compartments, and also this one. But this one, this was the bag that was mainly shown in the video. Now, what this bag has, this is actually the closed bottom, and this was the open bottom. This was the closed bottom. This was the open. But all of them, there are 4 compartments, and there are 4 things, 4 media that we used: soy, biochar, rice husk, and sawdust. The 2 of them. But the only difference is that this one is closed bottom. This one is closed bottom, this one is open bottom, which we will see. Now, decided to grow. We have 8 seed yams in here now. Now, interestingly, we started it 8 months ago. Around about 5 months, 2 weeks, or about, let's say approximately 6 months, I decided to do milking, which means these yams that you see here, I did milking for most of them that I could access. It means hopefully we are going to be looking at double harvest here. It's also something I needed to showcase. Now, what you are going to see today, I'm going to have lots of pieces of information here and there. At the end of it all, I think we'll be able to connect the dots. So let's go ahead. We're going to harvest now. So we're going to gently remove the top and look at each of the components. At least we'll still see, of course, the remnants of what we're looking at. All right. Okay. Now, interestingly, of course, the seed yams, you always expect them to be at the top. So here is, okay, as you can see, this one is the rice husk compartment already. All right. So we'll carefully just take them out so that you will not miss all of them. So we've been able to get to the rice husk compartment now. This is the rice husk compartment, and this is a seed yam that I just got. Look at the place where we did the milking. Okay. So this is the seed yam. At the end, if we weigh this one, is something. This is something that will get us up to, say, close to 100 grams. All right. So you see the double harvest is real. Okay, now in the rice husk compartment, okay, this is, wow, this is what I'm getting. Looking very beautiful, right? Nice. So this is rice husk. This is rice husk. Also, interestingly, there are 2 here. Whoa. This one is also still rice husk. Oh. And this one is huge. The same rice husk. Okay. So the next.
Hey, my English not so good.
Do you mean my English isn't very good?
Yes, I'm sorry.
How often do you practice speaking?
I have anyone to practice with.
Do you mean I have
The next. Please bring the camera closer. The next compartment. Okay, this is soy. This is soy. This is soil. Okay. This is the seed yam from the soil compartment. So as you can see, which is very, very obvious, the soil is usually very, very hard. And let me say here that this is one of the advantages you have with planting with other media. You could see that for the rice hulls, it was very easy to get it out because rice hulls has this unique nature of there's no compacting, but for soil you usually have compacted. There's this tendency to be compact, and it's very difficult to harvest sometimes when it's dried. So I will have to now look for something else to remove that of the soil. But let's go ahead. The soil I could not remove it now. So it's very difficult. So the next, all right, this is the next compartment, and let's see the component in the next compartment. All right, good. So you see, the next compartment is biochar, this charcoal. Because what I used to separate them was carton, as you have already seen. But see, this is charcoal. So let's see what we get from the biochar compartment. Wow. So this is the seed yam from the biochar compartment. Wow. This is huge. This is the seed yam. So let's remove the yam itself. This is of course this is rice husk. This side is soil. So you see now. This another advantage. Biochar behaves like rice hulls too, because they don't just get compacted. That's what I have observed, my own observation. So biochar, whoa, these ones are no longer seed yams, so and I'm looking like seed yams. Okay, so this is biochar, all right, and these are closed bottom compartment. Now the next will be sawdust. The next is sawdust. So see sawdust here. This compartment is sawdust, and on top of it is the seed yam after milking. You see, it's very evident. If you milk, you will get seed yams and your main tuber all out. So let's say this one, the bottom will bend because it couldn't penetrate the soil. So this is for sawdust here. All right. Now the carton has already, degenerated. All right. So now this is the disadvantage of soil. That is why for me, my counsel would be sometimes you might just have to mix soil with all this stuff to reduce the compacted nature of soil at the end of it all. So you can see the soil compartment just came out as a whole, because see, this is the soil compartment. Just this is a quarter kind of. So I have to remove. So this is the yam in the soil compartment. It's difficult, very difficult to remove when it's dried. All right. Of course, the usual challenge with soil, see now. All right. So this is the seed yam we got from the soil compartment. This is the yam we got from the soil compartment. So this is soil, sawdust. We are going to have to label them. Soil, sawdust. These two came out from rice husk. This is rice husk. Let me see them. Soil, sawdust, rice husk, fermented rice husk actually. All right. And the big man of them all, Biochar. Now, all the
When I started using this DIY device to generate free electricity at home, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw
all these came out from the sack. See all the remnants? The sack that is close-ended sacks. All right. Experiment number 1 done. So we'll now move on to the open-ended sacks to see if we are getting something similar from here. So guys, we have done the ones from the closed sack. Let us go to the ones with the open sack. All right. So gently, we just take them one after the other. Fine. Okay. This is the Biochar compartment. It's easy to just know. The Biochar compartment. These CDMs are something else. So this is the Biochar compartment. I'll just put Biochar so that it will just easy to know the soil we are bringing from it inside. Remember, this is the open bottom. Of course, this is the Biochar. I expect that. Interestingly, I planted for CDMs. I planted small mini tubers to get CDMs, but what I'm getting now is quite amazing. All right. So, because I milked 2 months ago, but I'm now getting. Look at what you see the CDM I'm getting from just one sack. Let's see. I hope this one has not taken the space of others. Okay. So okay. This one seems to. Okay. Let me see what is here. So, it's another CDM. But let's see the guy that is here. This is of course, you will just know this, the one that is soil. This is sawdust. Still very easy to bring out. Of course, this side is the soil. Very unique. You cannot miss it. Guys, this one entered the ground though. This one is from this sawdust. This is rice husk. So, rice husk. Yes, this is rice husk. Here. This is rice husk. Interestingly, this is what we got from rice husk. Okay, rice husk. What we have here now is sawdust. This one is sawdust, and if there's anything here, it will have to be the soil. Soil will always be the last. Sorry. you know, because the carton is no longer there, everything seems to be okay. See, this is the open, okay, open bottom, obviously. Yeah, this is the open bottom. Okay. So it went down into the ground. So this way there was no limit to it. Went down into the ground. This is for sawdust. See, this is rice husk.
For anyone with dementia, do not drink warm water. Did you know that memory loss is not a condition of the mind?
For open sack. Then this is Mr. Soy. This is the seed yam from the soy. The soy. And finally, for the soy, this is what came out. So far so good. This is what we got. All right. So this is closed sack. This is open sack. And this is soy. This is sawdust, rice husk. So we are going to label them all. And so there's this small sack that I put here. I don't know whether it worked out. There was one tiny piece of yarn that I put. I want to see whether something came out. Whoa, something came out very tiny. This is rice husk, and these are all the roots. Very tiny, small piece. So something still came out, which is interesting. All right. Then here, I just decided to use. This one was just. This one was rice husk. So I planted. Just trying to look for alternatives to soy. So interestingly, this is what came out from this. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Let us do our comparison now. They've been arranged. We all know the way we are going to take them one after the other. I decided to bring this platform. What the part that is closer to you will be the closed button. The one that is closer to me will be the open button. So we'll just arrange them. Of course, remember, this is the soy. This is the soy closed button. Remember, closed button is close to you. Open button is my own side. So this is soy closed button. Remember, this is soy open button. We just put them side by side. Mixed seed yam, mixed seed yam, and the main tuber. So the next, this one was sawdust. All right, sawdust closed button. Remember, this was sawdust closed button and the seed yam. Sawdust closed button and the seed yam. Of course, this was sawdust. Remember, sawdust closed button. Open button now, and the seed yam. All right. Next will be rice husk. Remember, rice husk closed button. This was what came out from that side. rice husk close bottom, and rice husk open bottom. This was what came out from rice husk open bottom. Okay. And finally, Biochar closed bottom. The CDM that is associated with it, Biochar closed bottom. And this is Biochar open bottom. So this Biochar open bottom. So guys, I only did an experiment, but you are the judge. So what do you think? But I'll just probably give a few observations. I noticed that the categories of Biochar, interestingly, they did very, very well, both for the closed bottom and the open. In fact, the open bottom, this one is no longer CDM. This one is now, of course, Yam. If we are going to weigh, and look at the CDM that came out of it too, massive. We are going to weigh. I have a scale. We are needed to put this here so that one. So then, of course, the rice husk for the closed bottom, it did very well. For the open bottom, in fact, this was very, very disappointing. Right. I'm even surprised that the rice husk did well here. Because, you know, one thing about rice husk is this. It does not even retain water. It's very porous. And it has no nutrient per se. So you have to be supplying it nutrient and all that. But don't get it wrong. Another thing again about this experiment is that all of them were inside one sack. So I'm sure the roots, so it wasn't really a perfect experiment. But what is the take home from this particular experiment? Since we could get something from every part of the experiment, it means that it is not only soil. Look at the category of soil. So this is soil closed bottom, this is soil open bottom. And look at every other thing compared to soil. You can see that to a very large extent, every other thing here, interestingly, did better than soil in this experiment. So there are so many things to conclude. But one thing that is common here is this. We can grow yam now without soil. Soil is not the only thing we can use to grow yam. It's just another thing that we should have done if we had the means was to do a proximate analysis of all. We'll now look at the nutritional content of this and all that. But again, don't get it wrong. Everything you see here, let me show you the sack. Everything you see here, they were done inside the sack, but this sack again is porous. There's a tendency for some roots look, this one is even closed bottom. Some roots will still find their way because it's a porous sack. It's not a waterproof sack. So it's a porous sack, so it can also still make contact with the soil. Soil remains the gold standard, but where probably you don't have soil, is it possible that we cannot have other alternatives? But there's also another thing you need to look at in this issue of soil. The two categories, something interesting came up. And what was the interesting thing? Look at, they are always very compact. This in itself is a disadvantage. So, is it possible that we can be mixing our soil in sack with any of these components to have the balance between the advantages of soil and that of Biochar, rice husk, or sawdust? So these are the things that we have to consider over and over again. Like I said, this is a pilot study. It's a pilot study. To a very large extent, it's a pilot study. I would hope that experts in faculties of agriculture and all that, or people who are interested, they carry out this experiment, look at how to make it standard. This is just my own personal experience. I'm not an expert. It's just an observation, just what I thought of. Because I'm trying to solve problems in Yam-in-sacks. In the future, it may be very, very challenging to get soil in that large quantity that we need. What if we now start looking at other options, other alternatives. Okay, so it is time to do some form of measurement. For those who know me, I always like to have some metric analysis. All right, so this is a digital weighing scale. I want to just start. We'll bring the camera closer now. All right, so we just measure the ones from Biochar. Close bottom, open bottom. This is the yam that came out, supposed to be seed yam. Interestingly, we are having 1.3 kg or approximately 1.4 kg for the Biochar close bottom. Then the
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins and minerals. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
the open bottom for Biochar. What are we having here? We are having 1.8 kg. 1.8 kg. All right. Okay, but let's just still measure their seed yams. Let's measure their seed yams. Seed yam for Biochar. Open bottom. Close bottom. Let me not confuse myself. Wow, this is 874 gram, almost 1 kg. This one. All right. This one, this huge. This one is from the open bottom. You can see open bottom usually. This is the seed yam itself is 1.2 kg. So you can see that it's very interesting. If you add these two up, of course, they are way more than this. All right, we have done Biochar. Let's come to rice husk. Okay, rice husk is 0. Rice husk, close bottom. So let's just measure the seed yam. The seed yam that came out of it. This is 1.4 kg. I add this one to it. Wow. 2.1 kg. 2.1 kg. This one is about 132 grams. This is already enough to plant as seed yam. Because I think the one I planted, I'm not sure it was even more than this to get this. All right. So the rice husk for open bottom didn't do quite well. It also depends. So this is about two of them, about 500 grams approximately. So if we look at the seed yam, it's about close to 200 grams. All right. Then let's go to sawdust. Let's go to sawdust. Sawdust. Okay. This is 1.1 gram. 1.1 gram. Kg. 1.1 kg, sorry. 1.1 kg. So let's go to open bottom. This is large. This is 1.4 kg. Now let's look at their seed yams. Seed yam for sawdust, close bottom, this one is 425 gram. 425 gram. For open bottom sawdust is 619 gram. This is huge. I can even share this into two to plant, and it will give me weigh yam at the end of the day. So finally, this is Mr. Soy. Okay, the soy, close bottom, 780 something gram. Then open bottom, 460 something grams. So we just check their CDMs. Okay, this 100 and something gram. This one, 200 and something gram. So, all right. So we have done the metric analysis. At the end of it all, you discover that overall, Biochar and Sawdust seem to have done very, very well. It is actually inconclusive. But one thing that we are taking away from this experiment is that apart from soil, you can grow yam from any other of these three media. And again, from what I have seen, Biochar seems to have done better than all of them. That's my own personal experience. Disclaimer, it's not cast in stone. You can do of course, this is just one bag, so you cannot say, oh, this is the conclusion. You have to have done several and now do some form of analysis, using statistics to be able to, get certain, information for the scientific word, they call it p-values. And because of that, you now use it to make conclusion. But this is just my personal experience. What I'm taking away from here is I'm happy that apart from soil, I can use sawdust, rice husk, Biochar, and I can grow my yam. That is a huge one for me. So guys, I want to thank you for staying this long to watch this video. This is an experiment that we started 8 months ago and we have ended it now. And I'm sure it has raised a lot of issues. But first thing first, let's recount some of the gains. We're able to grow yam from things that are not soil. And from just 2 sacks, look at what I got. Very, very plenty. But we're able to demonstrate double harvest from the same sack. You can get both your tubers, main tubers, and CDMs for the next season. A lot of things we have said in our channel and a lot of issues we have raised. This experiment is not perfect, but I want to know what you think. I want to learn from you. Please, let's go to the comment section and discuss this thing properly. What do you think about what we have done now? See you in the comment section.
Join Okta and enjoy smooth profit withdrawal. Okta, regulated trusted broker. Cook to impress.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.